Good morning, Westmount. I'm Mr. Stepanek, your Vice Principal, and I'm also a Colonel in the Canadian Army. On behalf of our Principal, Ms. Geeta Malhotra, I would like to welcome everyone to this morning's virtual Remembrance Day ceremony. Today we live in interesting times. As caring people living in a complex world, there are many issues that call for our attention. In 2021, we simply cannot ignore climate change or global pollution. We cannot ignore systemic racism or injustices to people. But recently, we have seen pressures to support one cause over another. Should the flags which have been lowered in recognition of the tragedies of residential schools be raised and then lowered again on Remembrance Day? As a citizen, a soldier, and a veteran, I think that we can do both. Remembrance Day is not a call to be mindful of the sacrifices of Canadians at the expense of other causes. And it is not about flags or political parties or agendas. It is most certainly not a glorification or a justification of war in any time or era. So to pick one example, we should be mindful of our treaties and our obligations to Indigenous peoples. But today is also one day when we can be mindful of the sacrifices of tens of thousands of Canadians who have made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of their country in peacetime and in war. Let us also not forget that those sacrifices have been made by countless Indigenous peoples and other people facing various forms of oppression, including racialized people, members of the LGBTQI2S+ community, and women. Serving in your country's military is perilous even in peacetime. The volunteers who step forward to serve their country all do so while making sacrifices, and some of them pay the ultimate sacrifice. So today, let us take pause and remember the courageous soldiers, sailors, aviators, and special operators, each who have lost their lives in the service of their country. We will remember them, and in remembering them, we honor their sacrifice. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to please rise for our land acknowledgement and the national anthem.
Hamilton Wentworth District School Board acknowledges our presence on ancestral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee Confederacy land as determined by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty. The Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt represents the treaty relationship between the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and the Anishinaabe with respect to sharing the land and resources thereon. The intent of this agreement is for all nations sharing this territory to do so responsibly, respectfully, and sustainably in perpetuity. We respect the long-standing relationships with the local Indigenous communities, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Six Nations of the Grand River.
They were young as we are young. They served, giving freely of themselves. To them we pledge, amid the winds of time, to carry their torch and never forget. We will remember them.
God on high, hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly on and on. And I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him
Thank you.